I think in times of upheaval, or if you've lived through a lot of upheaval, broken relationships, change of location, financial difficulties, the list goes on and on. I think that that is where beauty and an appreciation of beauty really becomes essential. At least that's been my experience. I'm a child of divorce. Moved around a lot as a kid. Was raised by a mother who was completely overwhelmed with raising two children on her own. Wouldn't take any help though, really, broke herself off from every support system. And I remember distinctly, there was a summer we moved across the country. We were staying with friends, there was no real plan, and just staying with friends and family for a while for that summer, the first summer, until eventually those options kind of petered out, and then we were staying with random boyfriends in a trailer park. And it was a nice trailer park, but it was still a trailer park. And I remember distinctly the feeling of homelessness and the lack of security of knowing where you're going to be next. I remember riding a tricycle. It certainly wasn't my tricycle. I remember riding it along. I was 7 years old, and riding it along the path that felt like a little street to me, and admiring the little manicured lawns in front of these trailer homes, and admiring, the pride and the joy that people took in the beauty of what they had. It wasn't much, maybe, but what they had, they were taken care of. It was perfectly manicured. Those flowers were beautiful. And I distinctly remember those. I don't remember a whole lot else about that trailer park. And what I remember are the moments of joy, the moments of beauty, the moments of family and laughter. Everybody has their own kind of coping mechanism for life. I tend to kind of forget all of the bad stuff, or I try to at least. Maybe also not the best, but I really hold on to the beauty, and that is how I cope in this world. And that is why I painted this newest series, Cosmo Cherry Bomb Sugar Lips. I mean, these most iconic women of all time, certainly from the perspective of kind of like Hollywood, right? Vintage Hollywood, jet set era, just a time I love. I'm a 70s child. I used as inspiration for the women in the paintings. And put in settings of places where I have been, where I love to be, where I want to go. Beauty is so essential to survival, I think. I think beauty is extremely underestimated on the one hand in society, in our culture, as being superficial, irrelevant, maybe not as important. And on the other hand, it has this enormously large overemphasis in what we are trying to achieve for ourselves, and who we want to become, what we want to be, the standards we set. So it's always this ambivalence that we have. The ambivalence is the worst part about it. It's like you love it, you hate it, you love it, you hate it. That is why I painted this newest series, Cosmo Cherry Bomb Sugar Lips. It's all about beauty and joy and laughter, and why we search for beauty in times of upheaval, which these certainly are. In my lifetime, we have certainly never had such times of upheaval as now. Financially, there's a war, not far away from where I live here in Austria. We have refugees coming from those wars, people whose lives have just been torn apart and shattered by it. We have people, in my immediate vicinity who are so directly affected by this going on. Inflation, interest rates, the environment, not to mention all of the social, cultural upheavals, family life, what family structuring looks like. Everything is just turned on end. And it seems like there's nothing that we can truly rely on anymore, right? There's nothing that we can hold as fundamentally true in our culture anymore. But I disagree. I believe that these values, these core values of humanity, like love, laughter, family, joy, those are the things that we all really want. It doesn't matter who we are, where we come from. Those are the things that are important to us. And those are the things that I think we all tend to or need to reach back to in times of trauma and upheaval. So I don't know. I think that having an image like that on your wall, I mean, to me it's inspiring, and I hope it inspires you too.